It seems like it's been ages since we were last gifted with a game featuring a female freerunning hero at the helm, with Mirror's Edge release occurring over 5 years ago and its sequel currently only existing as a tease. Luckily for us, lone developer Evan Todd took it upon himself to craft a parkour adventure of impressive scale and quality, to say the least. Enter Lemma, the 5-year development project taken on almost entirely single-handedly that was surely worth the effort. You awake to little explanation for your strange environment or what brought you there. Gradually a backstory is revealed while you're busy scaling the floating monoliths that overwhelm your surroundings. Signal towers act as beacons that are used to communicate via SMS with a mysterious character named Mark, someone your character has an apparent history with. You're informed that your name is Joan and that you've been trapped in Lemma, a world built in a computer simulation for an unknown experiment. A group of your friends are on the outside world trying to rescue you, but in the meantime it's up to you and your own parkour abilities to attempt to find an escape. Though your companion on the other end of the phone is your only help through the void, it seems you're not even sure who he really is, what his true intentions are, or even if he's the one you're consistently communicating with. Discovering hidden notes in hard-to-reach locations reveals some of the game's philosophy on abnormal physical properties, and provides a healthy narrative backbone. It all works on a cognitive level and it gels with the gameplay effectively. Theories and ideas on the true nature of matter and observation fit well into a game of hovering indiscernible objects in an endless space. The level of mystery brought about by the way the story is presented to you is intriguing enough to motivate deep exploration, and players who do so are rewarded with greater understanding for this narrative through the Scattered Diary. The world of Lemma offers a great feel of segmented openness. Players are free to explore open-ended puzzles and terrain that's connected by more linear sections. Challenges are presented uniquely and with no explanation, an aspect that promotes discovery and great sense of enlightenment upon success. While some concepts might be more apparent than others, there's a problem with it not always being clear what you just did in order to complete a puzzle. The game sometimes becomes a victim of one button performing too many actions and the unintended outcome happening more often than you'd expect. Despite this, the control still feels extremely smooth and natural. At first, running may feel a little bit janky with arms being thrust with force in front of you, but this feeling quickly vanishes and it feels as though you're actually free running amongst the impossible shapes. Eventually, players gain the ability to create their own floors and walls to branch out past existing architecture with rolls and wall runs. This adds a fluid extension to the parkour that we've never seen before in a first-person platformer. At first, this seems like an element that can be easily exploited, but thanks to thoughtful level design, there's never really a situation in which the player can cheat the game. Instead, it's confidently designed around your understanding of how to use it properly. New elements are introduced later on as well. Just as you think you've seen everything in the way of puzzle mechanics, the game brings about new player abilities and environmental pieces. Later in the story, you earn a skill to visualize blocks to wall run on out of thin air, adding a new level of liberty to your free running. Those who master handling the controls will be able to pull off some of the craziest platforming moves imaginable. A decent amount of challenge is given by the hostile blocks and textures that hunt you down. These situations can get tense and lead to fun chases and escapes, but unfortunately they're watered down by the reality of unlimited reach size and object permanence upon respawn. For an independent development and the money asked of the consumer, the subtle visual and audio presentation is fantastic. Textures are simple and yet have a fine look upon closer inspection, and the intentional overuse of cubic shapes to construct a majority of the world really cooperates well with the gameplay. The use of music is sparse and tastefully added to the extraordinary situations. It's clear that a ton of care went into how you take on each new aspect as you encounter them from your first-person perspective, and the inclusion of the Oculus support even goes further to demonstrate that. Unfortunately, we lack the equipment to experiment with this edition, but we can only imagine the level of intensity it would add. Climbing obstacles that are only half obstructing your path can sometimes trigger some obtuse animations, but otherwise the game is truly an immersive experience. Without a doubt, the release of this game is an achievement in indie creative skill and credibility. It's unquestionably on par with the AAA competition that it took such wise inspiration from. Lemma is a certain type of limbo that we wouldn't mind getting lost in.